Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what the sign mean. Y'all know what the sign mean. You gotta flip it and it's open, baby. We are open for a Scooby Doo detective agency type business. Period. As usual, you guys know Sky, it's you guys, it's me. We're here in the building to finish up this whole Sherlock thing. Scott, do you have anything from last time?
No, but it's been a little bit.
Oh,
So
do you
we'll
need a
give a
recap?
quick recap. I think would be good.
Okay, let me pull up my notes from last time because I don't remember the names. I don't remember anybody's name, just as a general matter. Sometimes even where they live. So let's pull it up. Oh yeah. Okay. So we had John Scott Eccles, but he went by Scott, like this guy Scott over here. And remember he came and he was like, "Oh my god, I was punked. I think I was in a 90-day fiance episode. I met this guy, we hit things off. I went to his house.
Right.
He was sitting there chewing his nails and being super duper nervous and getting on my nerves." And then he went to then he heard he had that nasty meal. Remember, he got served that nasty meal, and the wait sat like the housekeeper. Everybody was just weird. It was just weird. He
Right.
went to bed. Then here come the dude coming up in there talking about, did you ring? Did you ring? Did anybody ring? Garcia was his name. Garcia was like, did you ring? Did you ring? Did anybody ring? And the answer was no. But Garcia made a note to say, hey, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And ain't nothing open as labor legs.
Right.
Period. And then remember, so he had came to Holmes, but then here come and Inspector Baines came in and was like, "Sir, you coming down to this station to give a statement?" And he told all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then remember, Sherlock and them headed out to Wisteria Lodge, and
Okay.
that's where we ended things.
All right. Well, thanks for the recap.
Yeah, hopefully y'all understood. That was a quick recap. Hopefully y'all understood what I was talking about. Now I'm gonna say, just drop Scott Eccles. We don't even need to remember his name anymore. I done took my notes off the thing because we don't need to remember his name. He won't be mentioned again. He was just like somebody that came through like a visitor. Scott Eccles was just the visitor to get this conversation, aka this story, started. Okay, so you ready?
I'm ready.
So boom, Sherlock and Watson go to Wisteria Lodge the next day because they got to pick up these clues and stuff. Oh wait, I'm sorry, it wasn't Sherlock and just Watson. It was like Sherlock, Watson, Scott, you guys, and me. Everybody came. So we all boogie down. We all boogieing down to Wisteria Lodge with Inspector Baines because he got to come too. Because remember, he on the case.
Right.
So he knocked on the door, and here come an officer like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, ugh, what's going on?" Oh, I'm shooketh. And so they all looking like, "Sir, you a whole big grown man. Why are you shooketh?" I'm just gonna read the part because this is gonna be context for what we have going on here, people. So here we go. But we ain't gonna be here long because if you see, I'm cooking. Mama gotta get dinner together. Okay. I'm glad you have come, sir. It has been a long evening, and I don't think my nerve is as good as it was. He shook it. Your nerves, Walters. I should not have thought you had a nerve in your body. Well, sir, it's this lonely, silent house and the queer thing in the kitchen. Period. What's the queer thing in the kitchen, honey? Did somebody make a nasty meal? Then when you tapped at the window, I thought it had come again. What had come again? The devil, sir, for all I know. It was at the window. What was at the window and when? It was just 2 hours ago. The light was just fading. I was sitting reading in a chair. Sir, do they pay you to read in a chair? Is that what Scotland Yard is paying you to do? Read in a chair? That was your first mistake, sir. I don't know what made me look up, but there was a face looking in at me through the lower plane. Lord, sir, what a face it was. I'll see it in my dreams. Tut tut. I'm taking that word.
Tut, tut.
Yeah, every time somebody say, I'm like, tut tut, honey. Tut tut. Tut 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 tut.
Okay.
Tut tut. Tut tut, Walters. This is not talk for police constable. I know, sir, I know. But it shook me, sir. Told you he was shooketh. It shook me, sir. He clenching his invisible pearls. And there's no use to deny it. It wasn't black, sir, nor was it white, nor any color that I know. But a kind of queer shade like clay with a splash of milk in it. What color clay? Clay come in more than one color. Then there was the size of it. It was twice yours, sir. And the look of it, the great staring goggle eyes and a line of white teeth like a hungry beast. I tell you, sir, I couldn't move a finger nor get my breath. Sir, you probably shouldn't be a police officer. If you're gonna be this like broke down and shook and scared about ugly people, because that's kind of what he's describing. He's just like, oh my God, he needed a facelift. Get Dr. 90210 is what he's saying. To me, that's what I hear. Like, okay, he big and he ugly. Honey, go to the club late at night. Okay? Okay, wait, sorry. Let me get to it. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have dragged that man like that. But sir, you probably should not be a police officer if you're scared of ugly people. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, so anyway. Till it whisked away and was gone. Out I ran and through the shrubbery, but thank God there was no one there. Why you chase him if you scared of how ugly he is? And sir, for the record, Scott, did you know ugly is not contagious?
No.
Okay. If I didn't know you were a good man, Walters, I should put a black mark against you for this. If it were the devil himself, a constable on duty should never thank God that he could not lay his hands upon him, period. Get them together, sir. I suppose the whole thing is not a vision or a touch of nerves. That at least is very settled, said Holmes, lighting his pocket lantern. Yes, he reported after a short examination of the grass bed, a number 12 shoe. I should say, if he was all on the same scale as his shoe, as his foot, he must certainly, sorry, that's my oven, because I'm gonna bake some fish. So just ignore the stuff. Ignore the stuff. Focus on me. Focus on the ugly dude. Ignore the stuff. And focus on this ugly dude with big feet, because Sherlock is in awe of this man's shoe size. It's a 12. Is a 12 big for men?
Yeah, I mean, it's big. It's not extraordinarily big.
Well, Sherlock said this man big and ugly. Period. Okay. The ugliness probably ain't stopping him from the ladies. If he was all on the same scale as his foot, he must certainly have been a giant. What became of him? He seems to have broken through the shrubbery and made for the road. Well, the inspector said with a grave and thoughtful face, whoever he may be and whatever he may have wanted, he's gone for the present. And we have more immediate things to attend to. Yeah, can we get back to this case and stop worrying about this man's face? Leave a brown paper bag out for him to put over his head, child. It don't matter. Like, let's get to the case, honey. Somebody is unalived and we need to figure it out. Now, Mr. Holmes, with your permission, I will show you round the house. The various bedrooms and sitting rooms had yielded nothing to careful search. Apparently, the tenants had brought little or nothing with them, and all the furniture down to the smallest detail had been taken over the house. A great deal of clothing and the stamp of Marks & Co. Ooh, okay, some company had been left behind. Telegraphic inquiries had been already made, which showed that Marks knew nothing of his customers, save that he was a good payer. Ozzy, and so that's the landlord. The landlord was saying, I mean, he paid the rent. I don't care. He paid the rent. Which, I mean, I get it. Odds and ends, some pipes, a few novels, 2 of them in Spanish, a fancy pinfire revolver. You should have took that with you. You would probably be still on this earth, sir, if you had brought your revolver with you, but you didn't. And a guitar were among the personal property. Nothing in all this, said Bagans, stalking and candle in hand from room to room. But now, Holmes, I invite your attention to the kitchen. Here go where that queer thing is. What do you think the queer thing is? What did y'all think the queer thing is? Put it in the comments. What y'all think? What you think?
It was in the kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm. It's not a bad casserole. Let me just take that out.
I don't know. I don't know what it could be.
You're not going to be able to guess it. It's kind of weird. It was a gloomy, high-ceilinged room in the back of the house with a straw litter in one corner, which served apparently as a bed for the cook. Y'all just had to sleep on straw? That's itchy. The table was piled with half-eaten dishes and dirty plates and the debris of last night's dinner. What is the point of having a servant, a butler, and a housemaid if they're not going to clean up? You cannot brag on your staff. Well, Garcia won't be around to brag on him, but sir, it's not giving what you thought it was giving. Look at this, Bayan said. What do you make of it? He held up his candle before an extraordinary object which stood at the back of the dresser. It was so wrinkled and shrunken and withered that it was difficult to say what it might have been. One could but say that it was black and leathery, and that it bore some resemblance to a dwarfish human figure. At first, as I examined it, I thought it was a mummified knee that grows baby. This is how they was talking back then. Hey, in the UK, that was the word back then. That was the jive, as you will. And then it seemed like a very twisted and ancient monkey. Finally, I was left in doubt as to which it was an animal or human. A double band of white shells were strung around the center of it. Okay, it had that constable, that police officer, he was shook. He over there seeing ugly faces, maybe babies, maybe monkeys, he don't know. It got shells around his neck, and he's just like, this is too much. This is too much. Very interesting indeed, said Holmes, peering at the sinister relic. Anything more? In silence, Baines led the way to the sink and held forth his candle. The limbs and bodies of some large white bird, torn savagely to pieces with feathers still on, were littered all around it. Holmes pointed to the wattles on the severed head. A white cock, he said. Very interesting. It is a very curious case. Yes, honey. Why they got bird entrails everywhere? What's up? Why the head severed? What's going on? Oh my God, I'm scared. This is crazy. But Mr. Baines had kept his most sinister exhibit to the last. From under the sink, he drew a zip pail that contained a quantity of blood. Then from the table, he took a platter heaping with small pieces of charred bones. Something has been unalived and something has been burnt. We raked these out of the fire. We had a doctor in this morning. He says they are not human. But y'all still got this human person that is unalive, that got beat upside the head. So we got to still get this together. Holmes smiled and rubbed his hands. I must congratulate you, Inspector, on handling so distinctive and instructive a case. Your powers, if I may say so without offense, seem superior to your opportunities. Period. Sherlock, like, honey, you too smart for your job. You need a job where you need to really be looking at stuff, because, sir, you smart as hell. You smart. Scott, you smart. Y'all, you smart. Give him a raise. Give him an upgrade. Inspector Bain's small eyes twinkled with pleasure. You're right, Mr. Holmes. We stagnated in the Providence. A case of this sort gives a man a chance, and I hope that I shall take it. What do you make of these bones? Lamb, I should say, or a kid. And the white cock? Curious, Mr. Baines. Very curious. I should say almost unique. Yes, sir. There must have been some very strange people with some very strange ways in this house. One of them ugly, too. One of them is unalive. Did his companions follow him and unalive him? If they did, we should have them for every port is watched. But my own views are different. Yes, sir. My own views are very different. You have a theory then. And I'll work it myself, Mr. Holmes, period. It's only due to my credit to do so. Your name is made, but I still have to make mine. Look, I like him already. Bring Inspector Baines back in these stories, because Inspector Baines know what he's doing. He's like, look, I'm out here, sir. They know who you are. You're Beyonce, sir. I ain't got no name. I'm still trying to get on. So I'm going to do this myself, period. Don't come over here helping me. I'm not Inspector Lestrade. Holmes laughed good-humoredly. Oh, wait. I skipped the line. I should be glad to be able to say afterwards that I have solved it without your help. He a big boy, baby. Holmes laughed good-humoredly. Well, Inspector, he said. Do you follow your path and I will follow mine. My results are always very much at your service if you care to apply them for me. I think that I have made all that I wish in this house and that my time may be more profitably employed elsewhere. Au revoir and good luck. The game is afoot, baby. So, they decide to, you heard it, they decide to go their separate ways. Like Scooby-Doo, you know how they be like, let's split up. Yeah. Let's split up. That's what he's saying. Let's split up. So Holmes decides to do his own thing. Inspector Baines off doing his thing. From what Watson says, because he's the narrator here. So Watson is like, I didn't see Holmes for days. I just heard word of him. He was out at Gardens. Okay. He was down to the museum. And he's just out there just, mingling with the people. He's rubbing shoulders and elbows. Boom, boom. And so, eventually Holmes comes back and Watson's sitting there reading the paper because he ain't got nothing else to do because Holmes didn't diss us. He didn't left us here to our own devices. And Sherlock over there got jokes talking about, oh, you need to be coming to the garden. It's so pretty. It's perfect. It's so nice. I got me a basket full of flowers. I'm just skipping to my loo, just frolicking through the fields. And Watson kind of shuts him up and he was like, hey, do you know Inspector Baines then arrested somebody? And Sherlock is like, what? Stop, what? Y'all, what? And Sherlock is like, he shouldn't be arresting nobody. We need to find this fool because he messing up. He need my help. He was talking a big game, but he really do need my help for real. And so Sherlock is like, get up, Watson. I don't care what you doing. Y'all, come on, get up, put on your house shoes, put on something. Let's go on down here so we can find this man and tell him that he don't know what the hell he doing for real and he need our help. So Sherlock go and find Baines. And, he's like, hey, Baines, what's up? And Baines is like, nothing. We seen each other out and about, you doing your thing with the case. I'm doing my thing with the case. What's the problem? And Sherlock is like, you arrested the wrong man. And Baines is like, let me tell you something. You said that we were going to do our own thing. This is me doing my own thing. You got your ways and I have mine. And so Sherlock is like, okay. You messing up and you gonna catch them L's when you mess up, sir. And so Baines was like, go do your best work. So Sherlock is like, whatever, we got it. Come on, y'all. So he goes back to 221 Baker Street, And he was like, okay, let me catch everybody up to the tea of what I done discovered out here. Because you thought I was just out here frolicking in the fields with, a basket of flowers. You thought I was just, being a tourist down to the museum. But that's not what I was doing. He was like, let me tell you what I found out. He was like, number one, Scott Eccles, even though I told y'all to forget him, just remember him for a minute. Scott Eccles was used as an alibi. That's what he was there for. It was not 90 Day Fiance, even though it kind of looked like it. He was being used as an alibi. And who better than a noble British person to be your alibi, okay? He was like, what really was going on is that man came up in, Garcia came up in that man's room, lied and told him a time because he needed an alibi because he was out there in them streets probably doing crimes. We don't know all that yet, but he was doing something he ain't had no business. He was like, so I had to figure out from there, like, okay, what business is he keeping that he ain't supposed to be doing? He was like, well, I thought to myself, when there's a criminal organization, what do they do? Scott, what do they do?
Crimes.
Besides that. Okay, you taking too long. And we got my rights up there. They get big houses. They get mansions. Okay? Think about it. You got money, you need a big house. So, Sherlock was like, it ain't many big houses around here. So I went and found the biggest house the neighborhood with the biggest houses. And I was looking at different people, that couple boring. That couple, they old. That couple over there, though, they always out of town. And they just be going from city to city to city to city and town to town to town. They look like they're interesting. So I did a little digging. I went to the gardens. And boop, guess who I bumped into? A disgruntled gardener that used to work over there. They got fired, who was ready to run his mouth if I bought him a couple of drinks. So I sat there talking to the gardener, found out all the tea for Dr. Umar, found out all the tea. And what I found out is, the dude that owns it, I forget his name. He was calling himself Harrison. He wasn't using his real name. Mr. Harrison, is a jerk. He mistreats people. He got kids. The kids got a nanny. He named all the staff, but really we need to focus on the nanny because she just got there and she seems mysterious. So Sherlock was like, I'm thinking, her and Garcia got a little secret lover thing going on. They got a little flang, a little thing. Come to find out, no, they don't. But he was like, some kind of way they linked and they connected. The nanny and Garcia, the guy who got unalived, they connected some way. But he was like, the day Garcia got unalived, the nanny went missing. I couldn't even question her. Why you look like you were about to say something?
No.
Scott over here very intrigued, honey.
Just trying to follow along.
He's mouthing the words with me. So the nanny then went, missing. And Sherlock is like, so we got some problems and we got, Detective Bands being dumb. He don't know what the hell he doing. He arresting the wrong people. And we really need to be over here down to this mansion with Harrison and them trying to figure out what happened to this damn Nandy because I need to question her because she part of this, period. And he was like, I think they're gonna unalive her too. She connected in some way. So what we need to do, he was like, I left that gardener. I just paid him some money because he unemployed, baby. He ain't got no money. So he easy to get. I left him some money and told him, watch her. Watch that house. Watch them. If anybody move, you follow them. And he was like, so let's get on over there. Damn. Police be damned. Baines be damned. Case be damned. We need to get over there because I feel like this poor young lady is in danger, baby. So we got to gallop on over. So, wait, are you keeping up so far, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay, because this is moving fast because my rice cooking back there and my fish needs to go in the oven. If y'all got any questions, comment section, I'll answer them. Or you can read Wisteria Lodge. We got all kinds of options here. This is a buffet of options. So they get over there. Here come the ex-gardener, the bitter gardener. And he was like, oh my God, guess what happened? You was right. Oh my God, this is crazy. I was following, he was like, my old boss and his ugly, disgusting secretary, because the secretary is involved. There's a secretary that is this man, Mr. Harrison Shadow. The secretary all of a sudden came out with this poor woman. And all of a sudden she got to fighting and scrapping because she was trying to get away from him. And they kept trying to push her in the little stagecoach thingy. And he was like, I went over there and I started knocking them out. I started, And, I got her, she escaped. And so Sherlock is like, cool, gang, let's get her over to 221B Baker Street so we can like figure out what the hell is going, like, girl, what is this? Like, what is this thing? Why are you affiliated with this and watching kids? Why is this man unalive? What is this? Are you ready, Scott? Are y'all ready?
Ready.
Let me tell you what happened. Woosah, because this is kind of weird. So my girl, all of a sudden, when they get to Baker Street, here come Inspector Baines. And Sherlock is like, oh, I'm glad you're here. You can go ahead and let that man go. And Baines is like, that's fine. He was like, I arrested that man on purpose. He was like, I arrested that man because I knew he wasn't guilty. I was arresting him on fraudulent charges because I knew that there was a criminal organization. You know that man Harrison? That's a crime boss. He be all over the place blackmailing everybody and blackmailing government officials if they don't do his bidding. He like Genghis Khan. Okay? And if they don't do his bidding, he just off them. He just take them out. He become assassin-like. Because he like money a lot. So he could afford them big houses and nannies for his children. But he doing it illegally. So he was like, I needed to throw him off my scent. And if he thought I, arrested this man, then he'll get comfortable. And then I can go ahead and get enough evidence and take him on down. And Sherlock is like, dang, you got a bright future behind you. Hell, you may even take my job.
Yeah. Sounds like a Sherlock movie.
Period. Like we may have to go, we have to cross out Sherlock and put Inspector Baines, honey. We might have to go over to somebody else's side. I don't know. But anyway, so, he was like, no, the dude who, has this nanny, he's the criminal enterprise. And he was like, the only missing piece was her. I didn't figure that part out. But he was like, Sherlock, when you was on the ground with your little, magnifying glass, I was up in the trees looking at you on the ground. Like, what's up, sir? We on the same steps. She was the missing piece. So finally my girl get up and she's like, oh my gosh. Ooh. I got kidnapped, y'all. So Sherlock and them are like, girl, what the hell is going on here? So she was like, let me tell y'all, I had to take this job as the nanny for this man's kids. She was like, because I joined an organization to take this man down because the police too stupid to figure out where this man is and how to take him out. And he over here unaliving everybody's spouse, daddy, aunties and them. He taking them out. My husband got murdered. My husband was the governor. And he got unalived by this fool. Garcia's daddy got taken out. He was like prime minister or something. Y'all too dumb to take him out. So we just got together and we were going to take him out. We was going to take him out. So she was like, I sat here and was the nanny for this man's kids, looking at the man that unalived my husband, that made me poor because I was getting a pittance. That's what she said. She was getting a pittance. I had to look at this man's face every day, take care of his children, all that, just so I can report back to all them people who want to unalive this man where our location was. So they were kind of circling the net. And she said the night that Garcia was supposed to, that y'all found Garcia, I was getting ready to send him a letter to tell him, come on, because this man is going to be in the house and he vulnerable, Henderson. But the secretary crept up behind her, saw it, knocked her upside the head, wrote the letter saying, oh, come on, yeah, sent the letter, and then they jumped him and took him out, Garcia. That's what happened to Garcia. But Garcia had a plan to have a alibi at the house, which was Scott Eccles, just in case somebody was like, you unalive Harrison. He could be like, oh, and I was here at 1 o'clock at the night in Harrison room with him. He spent the night with me. But it didn't work out like that, So, she was like, they caught me and they would have took me out, but it was too many. It's too much crime going on around here and they didn't want to get caught. So what they did was they beat her. They diddled with her against her will. They didn't feed her. And they just tortured this poor woman. You would think that the children would be like, where the hell my nanny go? Because the girls, I think his children were like 11 and 10. It's like, y'all ain't noticed y'all nanny gone? She was there all that time. Nobody was like, where'd she go? Where Mary Poppins at? But, okay, they kept her in the room. And then she said, they hadn't been feeding her. And then one day, all of a sudden, a feast appears. So she over there like, yeah, boom. It's Golden Corral buffet.
Nothing suspicious about that.
Nothing suspicious. What was in there? Opium. They drugged her. So my poor girl, they was going to, I guess this is after he arrested the ugly butler. And that's who he arrested, the ugly butler. Like, they described him as just being big and ugly. He's just big and ugly. But he wasn't even a butler. That was part of the people that were out for revenge. All these people got together. So they were pretending to be butler. That's why the dinner was nasty. They didn't know how to cook for real. They were just there to take this man out. So she was like, after, they thought that the, suspicion was off of them. They was trying to take me out to a field and off me, baby. But luckily this man was here. He saved me. It's all good. She was like, and now I'm away from them forever. But I'm pissed that y'all didn't let him get away again. Y'all didn't let him get away again. Like, what the hell? Because they got away. So she goes on about her life. Sherlock and them go on about their life. Bane's going on about their life. But, Watson liked to read that newspaper. So Watson's reading the newspaper, and what he find? Oops. Some man and they secretary unalived. The gang, them people that came together, got him eventually. Took him out. They call it nihilism. That they died or unalive. I'm sorry, unalive from nihilism. I don't know what that means. I would have to look that up. That's crazy. Because that's like a loss of hope. Like, okay, girl. So, but in the end, because I did say Sherlock has learned about some voodoo. This is how it ends. It ain't gonna be that long because I got it in my rice. Thank y'all for hanging in there. So, the justice comes. And so Sherlock is like, well, Watson, and y'all, and Scott, and me, a successful case. We didn't see it all the way to the conclusion, but we kind of did. Justice was served, not in the way we thought, but served nonetheless. He was like, do you have any questions about, any questions about this case that you didn't get answered? And Watson was like, yes. So we just gonna act like that weird queer thing, the knees that grow, baby or monkey, we don't know what it was. And, the decapitated white bird and the bones of a lamb and or a goat. We gonna just act like that wasn't just sitting in the kitchen. Like that ain't got nothing to do with none of this. And so Sherlock was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, that part there. This is what he says. A chaotic case, my dear Watson, said Holmes over an evening pipe. It will not be possible for you to present in that impact form, which is dear to your heart. He's still dragging them about the way he writing these memorials, okay? Sherlock just is like, the way you write them is stupid. It covers 2 continents, concerns 2 groups of mysterious persons, and is further complicated by the highly respectable presence of our friend Scott Eccles, whose inclusion shows me that the deceased, Garcia, had a scheming mind and a well-developed instinct of self-preservation, meaning he got him an alibi. He said, I got an alibi. It is remarkable only for the fact that amid a perfect jungle of possibilities, we, with our worthy collaborator, the inspector, have kept our close hold on the essentials and so been guided along the crooked and winding path. Is there any point which is not quite clear to you? This is where we about to get it. The object of the mulatto cook's return, because remember, the mulatto cook was the ugly person that got arrested. He came back. That's who that detective saw in the beginning. Remember, he was like, oh my God, I saw an ugly man. He was big and ugly. Like, sir, just go to the club. Go to the club at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I promise. And it's going to be dark too. You'll be all right. I think that the strange creature in the kitchen may account for it. The man was a primitive savage from the backwoods of San Pedro, and this was his fetish. When his companion and he had fled to some pre-arranged retreat, because they all fled. So after Garcia got unalive, everybody was like, oh, snap, we got to go. They on to us. So they fled. So this is what he's saying. Already occupied, no doubt, by a Confederate, the companion had persuaded him to leave so compromising an article of furniture. Meaning, the person that was with him was like, the person whose house we got to flee to ain't down with that foolishness. He don't do voodoo. He don't want nothing in his kitchen looking like that. Leave it here. You can come back for it later. We got to run. Smart. But the mulatto's heart was with it, and he was driven back to it the next day when, on reconnaissing through the window, he found policeman Walters in possession. And he didn't scare the mess out this man. This man ready to quit the police force, shout, because he saw that man was ugly. He waited 3 days longer, and then his piety or his superstition drove him to try once more. Inspector Baines, who, with his usual astuteness, had minimized the incident before me and really recognized its importance and left a trap into which the creature walked. Any other point, Watson? So Detective Baines set him up and left that police officer there because he knew that man was going to come back for that for this thing here. The torn bird, the pale of blood, and charred bones, all the mystery of the weird kitchen. Holmes smiled as he turned up an entry in his notebook. I spent the morning in the British Museum reading up on that and other points. Here is a quotation from Eckermann's Voodooism and the knees that grow, religions. The true voodoo worshiper attempts nothing of importance without certain sacrifices which are intended to propagate his unclean gods. In extreme cases, these rites take the form of human sacrifices followed by cannibalism. The more visual victims, the more usual victims are a white cock, which is plucked in pieces alive, or a black goat whose throat is cut and body burnt. So, you see, our savage friend was very orthodox in his ritual. It is grotesque, Watson. Ah! I feel like that's the word of the day. We're back to grotesque. Watson, Holmes added, as he slowly fastened his notebook, but I have had I have had occasion to remark that there is one step from the grotesque to the horrible. That's the end, y'all. That's the end. Okay, Scott, what did you learn? And I'm getting our snacks and I'm checking on this one.
Okay, well, I learned that they didn't have much tolerance for ugly and grotesque things.
Back in the 1800s in the UK?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Well, they weren't used to it. They were new. They weren't used to it. What they supposed to do?
I guess, handle it badly.
Yeah, like why they gotta sit there and deal with ugly people? They're better than that. They're civilized, honey. Okay, so our Scooby snack of the day is, of course, I think these are Thai. Nope, Chinese. Some chips from China. It is roasted cumin lamb skewer flavor. Yeah, we're gonna get away from that fish a little bit because that last fish was a little fishy. It was a little too fishy. So let's see here what we got going on here. Ooh, it smells good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it smells good. Let's see here. Okay, y'all. Let's. Oh, good. What else good about? I like that. What you think?
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's good in like the most interesting way. It tastes like, I wouldn't say lamb, more like maybe like pork chops or something.
Yeah, this kind of like a meat barbecue. Like they say, it has like a barbecue flavor, but like a barbecue meat flavor, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a barbecue sauce flavor, like regular barbecue chips.
Yeah, it tastes like they barbecued these chips, but with meat. It's really good. Okay, well, if you're ever, I think I got this from World Market. So if y'all have a World Market near you, or maybe online, I don't know how it works, but try these things. These are good. Leave a comment if you do and let us know what you think. So anyway, with that, I gotta finish cooking, so I have to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are to wherever you are, peace, love, and happiness. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, make some comments down there, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys probably tomorrow for Fairy Tale Friday. The week is almost, over. Yay.